better. Lob Queen, let's go. If you still haven't added a lob to your game, you're missing out. But don't worry, we've got you covered. You know how frustrating it is when you've worked your way up to that kitchen line only to have the other team lob you and push you back again? Well, you want to be that team, so why haven't you added a lob to your game? Welcome to the Flying Pickle Academy. I'm Susannah Barr, and today we're going to be looking at one of my favorite shots, the offensive lob. In this video, we're going to show you the technique that you need to hit an aggressive topspin offensive lob, and we're also going to show you decision making on when it's the right time to hit a lob off the right ball. You two on this side. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to get into this dinking rally because a good offensive lob starts at the kitchen line. I am looking for the right ball that I can lob over my partners here. I've put some cones out there kind of as a target area where I'd like my lobs to land. So that deep part of that court, but the goal, I don't want them to see it coming. So what I'm doing here, guys, is I am looking for the right ball that I can lob. I'm leaning in, letting that ball come to me, and then I'm just pushing it a little further. I want it to look like an aggressive dink. They don't know if I'm dinking, they don't know if I'm lobbing. That's the goal, because if they know it's happening, they're already gonna run back and I'm gonna be in trouble. You can work on taking lobs out of the air like a volley lob right there, or you can work on hitting a lob. Oh, another volley lob. That's the right ball. I can't let it go. If it's there to lob it, I gotta lob it. Or I can look at hitting a lob off the bounce as well. What I'm looking for when I'm looking for the ball that I can lob: one, I need to be balanced. Two, that ball needs to be in front of me. So I'm making contact out in front. If they hit an aggressive dink, probably not the best ball for me to lob because I'm going to be slightly off balance. Chances are I'm not going to execute it well. If I want to add some topspin to my lob, I can do that as well. You just saw it there. Leaning in as you're going up, you're brushing that ball to add a little bit of topspin. We can even do it on the backhand. Same rules apply. Out in front of you, you're nice and balanced. You're leaning in, and then you're going to go ahead and follow through just a little bit more. So again, I'm leaning in here. I could dink this ball, but if I feel like it's one I can lob, my paddle's out in front of me, nice and balanced. And there we go. Lift it up over their heads. If I want it off the bounce, I'm just gonna make sure it's out in front of me still, and I have that little bit of momentum going forward. I don't wanna overhit this ball. When we tend to hit them out, we see a lot of people on their back heels, right? So now that ball is gonna be going out, or we see people relying too much on their arm to almost like flick this or react to this ball. Rather than letting that ball come to you, you almost catch it for a second, and then you make that decision of what you want to do with that ball. So when you're catching that ball out in front, I have decisions here, right? I could dink it, I could attack it, or I can push it just a little bit further and hit it as a lob. When we're talking about lobbing, we definitely want to make smart decisions about when and where we lob this ball. So typically, if I'm on the right side of the court, I'm going to be looking at lobbing over my opponent's backhand, so straight down that line, or I'm going to be lobbing it cross court to again avoid the left-sided player's forehand in the middle. So those are really, the main thing is you just want to avoid that middle. because that's going to be somebody's forehand typically. We want to avoid an overhead down the line. Over the backhand's great. Cross court, that goes over the right-sided player's backhand as well. So those are our typical target areas. If it's a really tall player with a huge overhead, maybe not the best time to lob until you really master it. You'd be surprised. Sometimes those players expect it less because nobody ever does it, so you can catch them by surprise. But if it's not accurate enough, you're gonna pay. You know, obviously, there's other players that are easier to lob. So when you're in that position, you wanna keep that in mind. The thing with the lob though, this is one of the biggest keys. You cannot decide to lob 2 or 3 shots ahead. It has to be a decision that you're making when you're in position, right? Because I can't force my opponent to give me that ball that I'm gonna lob well. I have to practice it enough that the second I recognize that ball is in my wheelhouse, now that decision turns on of, oh, I can lob this ball. The other thing we can look for is our opponent's positioning. So even if it's a really tall player, but they're really leaning in, trying to get a lot of balls out of the air, that could be a player that you could lob. The other time you can lob your opponent is sometimes if they're rushing in too quickly. Maybe you've pushed them back or they've stepped back to midcourt and they're rushing in and they haven't fully established at the kitchen line yet, and you notice that because now their momentum's pulling them forward. That's a great time to throw that lob over their head because it's very hard for them to change that momentum. One thing to think about is we actually don't want it too high, because if it's really high, that gives you guys more time to get it. I do want a little bit of pace on this ball so that you don't have time. That one was a little long. You don't have time to react. I mean, they're pretty darn accurate. All right, so move the cones, guys. Nice try. So when your partner runs back for the lob, make sure you go back about halfway. Good work. So after you've executed your lob, you do have to prepare for that next step. Because if your opponents go back and get it, they're either gonna drive it or they're gonna drop it, but now they're pushed back. So as soon as you realize that they're gonna let that ball bounce, you wanna get nice and close to this line, leaning in, looking for them to give you not a great ball that you can finish the point on that next one. The lob is not always the winner, guys. Sometimes the lob is just the setup to push them back, force them to hit an even higher ball, then now you can finish the point. Once you've pushed them back and they hit that ball back to you, what you're really looking for is you have the whole court open to you now. So you're looking for those angles, you're looking for that partner who maybe isn't quite as aware of what's happening. You're trying to get at their feet, keep them back, keep a lot of pressure on them. Great get. It's out. I was off balance. That's better. That was nasty. what you see there, that lob wasn't even that high, but it had enough pace and enough spin, right, that it was very challenging to get. So the question sometimes is, should I keep going at the player that retrieved the lob, or should I go at the partner? I actually tend to go at the partner a lot because they're a little bit less sure of what ball the person who ran the ball down got. So the person who ran the ball down, they know what kind of ball they hit. They know if it was a drive, if it was a bad drop, if it was a lob back or whatever. The partner, they're a little bit more of that fish out of water because they're kind of in an awkward place on the court and they don't always know how well their partner ran that lob down. Oh, out. Ego shot. If you want to run that down, call him off. So let's have him run it and talk and call it off. Oh, good get. It's up to him to tell you or not, right? If he wants you to switch, he should tell you. That's out, it's out. Oh, it was closer than I thought. Oh, good get. I like it. That's for the video for sure. One more on the backhand. No. Highlight reel. All right, so when you've thrown up that lob, your partner should hug that line just as much as you. They don't need to be backing up either. As soon as we notice they're letting it bounce, they're backing up off that line, we are both up here drooling for that next shot. We will have another video following up on this about the right way to run down a lob safely, accurately, and get yourself back in the point. But as you saw already, one of the things we don't want to do is run backwards. We need to pivot, turn around, try to get behind that lob. So making sure that's your first bit of safety on it. If you don't feel safe running down a lob, let it go. There's a lot of things to think about when you're getting lobbed, including who's running it down, partner communication. What does the partner do? Do we switch? Do we not switch? Do we hit a drive? Do we hit a drop? And we're going to be bringing you all of that in a video soon. Quick disclaimer, guys. We need to be careful. We need to discern who we are lobbing out there. If you're in a tournament, it's fair game. Lob away. If you're out at the rec courts and you're playing with someone's grandma who's not very tall and can't move very well, let's limit our lob, guys, because we want it to be fun and safe for everybody. Even for myself, even if I'm playing rec, my rule of thumb, 1 lob per game. I just want to show them I can do it. After that, we're going to just have some fun and play some points out. If it's in a tournament though, and they're showing me they can't handle my lob, you can trust me, I'm going to be using it. If you enjoyed this video, you should check out Coach Dominic's aggressive dinking video, because that's going to, 1, help you avoid being lobbed by hitting more aggressive dinks, but also help you get in position to see those opportunities to lob. Lob Queen, let's go.